Hi, this is Tim from fititmidlife.com, and today I've got the Nike Metcon 4. Remember these? This was an excellent CrossFit style training shoe from a few years back, but now that the Metcon 6 is out, a lot of people are asking, should I upgrade from the 4 to the 6? And quite frankly, I haven't had a good answer because I didn't really remember what it was like to wear the 4 on a regular basis. So I've spent the past week running a side-by-side test, workouts, out and about, and more, and I'm ready to give you an answer, so stick around. All right, so let's start by comparing these two side by side and talk about the differences first. So we'll start with the sole. Both have an all rubber dual material outsole. So sticky rubber up front, firmer rubber in the heel for better durability, better stability, and stickier rubber up front for better traction. The 4 had an interesting tri-star design all over. The idea was that this gave you traction in any direction. At least that's what Nike's marketing material said. You can see preformed flex grooves and a mild rope raise, rope wrap, which at the time looked really radical, but now pales in comparison to the massive rope wrap on the 6, right? It's just way bigger. And that's kind of a theme you'll see through a lot of this comparison. Just a lot of things are bigger on the 6, but still a lot of similarities, right? The 4-foot flex grooves are there. The rope wrap is there, but bigger. The heel is somewhat the same, but even then, if you look at this, there's more heel clip clearly on the 6 than the 4. So again, the trend kind of continues. Everything is bigger. And by the way, this is an 11.5. This is an 11. So there is a slight size difference as well, but shouldn't really amount to too much more. The tongue on the 6, more padded. The 4 had a infamously very paper thin tongue. There's really almost nothing to it. Didn't bother me. I liked it. And the tongue on the 6 is not bad. It's definitely more padded though, which is good because when you tighten down the laces, you're a little less likely to feel the effect of lace bite and that kind of stuff. Let's look at the uppers. So the same basic shape of the shoe and the toe and stuff like that. The upper on the 4 was the mesh. It's a double layer mesh. There's an inner layer of material. It's quite dense. There is 3D haptic print, which varies in size. It's very dense up front for more protection, less so up here for better breathability, and that kind of continues in various places around the shoe. Whereas with the 6, as we now see, you get the super breathable upper with perforations so large you can see through, but they have protected like this. The toe part, this is a very dense, almost rubbery feeling material. And this upper, this is not thin and weak. This is quite tough. I think these are going to last a long time. If I do a close-up, you might be able to see the depth of the material through the perforations. But, pretty robust stuff. Let's talk about what's the same. So Flywire in both might be a little bit hard to see on the 4 because it's black on black, but Flywire's there, works the same. Regular style laces for the most part, good old-fashioned laces, they work, and that's a good thing. So let's talk then about Sound. So I'll put a clip in here of the relative noise levels of these shoes. The Metcons are noisy. It's the heel. This is very dense. This part is very, very dense, very solid, and this thing makes a clip-clop sound whenever you walk on any surface that's hard, asphalt, tile, wood floors. Quite noisy shoes, as was the 4. Also because the rim of the heel is just very, very solid and dense. I'll put a clip in comparing to a Reebok Nano X, Nano 10, which is comparatively speaking quiet compared to the heel on both these shoes. So I would actually say the 6 is louder, and hopefully that'll come across in the clip. Certainly to my ears, it sounds like the heel clip-clop is louder in the 6, quieter in the 4. But here's the other thing. The 4 was noisy. It had the Metcon squeak. Listen. Now the 6. Right? There's just a lot of noise. It's the removable midsole, the drop-in midsole rubbing against the outsole. Every single pair of 4s and 4XDs and 3s that I had all made that noise basically from day one. Some people say some of the shoes don't do it, but every single pair of these that I had did it. And believe me, I had at least, between the 4 and the 4XD, I had at least 4 pairs of these. Every single one of them squeaked. And not a bad thing, but when you're in a quiet environment, like an office, and everybody's heads down working, and you walk by, and that can sometimes translate to sound people can hear, and it is kind of weird. But in the gym, who cares? Didn't matter. There was music on. It was loud. You're lifting weights. You're dropping things and all that kind of stuff, so it didn't really matter. But certainly, that was a big improvement. And they fixed that with the 5. The 5 got rid of the Metcon squeak. The 6 does not have the Metcon squeak, but the heel has gotten louder. So there's a difference in the noise levels for sure, but also cushioning. So let's pull out that dual density midsole. Let's pull it out from both shoes and take a look at that. So the feel is basically, let's see, let's take a look at these here. So pretty much the same general kind of deal, removable midsole. This is where the bulk of the cushioning comes from. And you can see the shape is generally the same, but one thing you'll notice, there is definitely more material, more foam in the heel, right? Look at the heel specifically. Clearly, there's more in the 6 as compared to the 4. And up front, this material on the 6, very cushioned, very squishy. The heel less so, right, because you want it to be stable. The 4, I don't remember honestly what the marketing material said, if they claimed this was dual density or not, but it feels, there's not nearly as much of a difference. So the 4-foot feels almost the same as the heel to me, if not identical, and there's less of it. More cushioning up front, more cushioning in the heel. That's a difference you can feel in the shoe as well. So when I put these on side by side, definitely more cushion in the heel and definitely in the 4-foot on the 6. And you can see there, it's a pretty big difference as far as the amount of foam. Can't really scientifically say whether the foam is different rating in one or the other. They've labeled it on the 6, but I don't have the durometer numbers for the 4, so I don't know. But definitely improvement in cushion in the 6. And this, of course, came along at first with the Metcon 5, and that's one of the reasons why I have enjoyed the Metcon line since then. So definite improvement in cushion. How about that breathable upper? So, you know, in looking at the very dense mesh on the 4 and then the perforations so big you can see through them on the 6, there's got to be a difference you can feel. And I do believe I have identified that. So I was wearing these just today, doing quite a bit of stuff. And honestly, the foot with the 4 felt noticeably warmer and toastier than the foot with the 6 and the breathable perforations, right? Nike claims this is a 18% improvement in airflow over the 5. I don't see how that could be. It's got to be more than that. At least up here, there's a lot of perforations. There's not perforations here. Well, I take that back. There's a little bit there. The tongue is not, it does not go all the way through. Feels to me like it should be more of an improvement than that. But, again, what does it matter unless you can feel it? I do feel like this is the better ventilated shoe because of that upper. Okay, let's talk weight. This men's size 11 Metcon 4 weighs 11.4 ounces. This Metcon 6, on the other hand, men's size 11.5, weighs 14 ounces. So that's about a 2.5 ounce difference between the 6 and the 4. Why did the shoe get heavier? Well, as we mentioned, there's more to it now, right? That bigger rope wrap, right? The dense, robust rubber, there's more of it. There's more foam in the midsole. We saw that. The heel is bigger. There's more TPU material in the heel clip you can see here as opposed to this. And overall, it's just, it looks, to me, it looks bigger too. It seems like there's more material in the upper and things like this. There's more reinforcement around the lace eyelets. And of course, that's going to mean a heavier shoe. Is 14 ounces too heavy? No, but I don't think I want to see the Metcon 7 go to 15 ounces. Let me put it that way. I do like a lighter feeling shoe, all other things being equal. How about drop, heel to toe drop? So both shoes stock are 4 millimeters heel to toe drop, which basically means your heel is 4 millimeters higher than your toe. Very neutral, low profile offset is what it is for versatility and things like that. This is quite common in cross trainers. But the big difference with the 6 is it, like the 5, it comes with these hyper lifts. These little drop-in wedges, you put these in the shoe, they go under the midsole, and they basically give you an extra amount of heel to toe drop. How much? 8 millimeters in the men's shoe, 6 millimeter in the women's. But you can see here visually, assuming the rubber outsole's the same on both, you can see how much more heel raise you can get with the 6 or not. Don't use it, and you've got more of typical Metcon style 4 millimeter heel to toe drop. The other thing you'll notice too, I think they've dished the drop in midsole is more dished, and that may be because there's more foam there, but it kind of, that helps your foot kind of settle in there and helps it stay put when you're moving laterally and things like that. So definitely an improvement on the 6 with the hyper lifts, where you can choose, do I want 12 millimeters of heel to toe drop, or do I want to leave them out and just have 4 millimeters heel to toe drop? So how about in the gym? What's the difference? Well, both are great for lifting weights. I always loved wearing the 4s for deadlifts, squats, overhead press. At the time I was wearing these, I was doing a lot of starting strength, so a lot of just classic multi-joint heavy movements and no need for cushioning really. So it was a great shoe. But as I got the 5s and now the 6, and my training is, I'll say, a little bit more well-rounded, maybe partially because I'm older now and I've kind of backed off the heavy weights, but still I appreciate more the more versatile levels of cushion here in the 6. The fact that it's got a tiny bit more in the heel. These don't have a ton of cushion, but it is a noticeable difference when I wear these side by side, right? I have one on the left, one on the right. You can definitely feel more cushion in the heel, definitely more cushion in the forefoot. And quite frankly, this makes the 6 more versatile, better for even just walking long distances. I know I did a 10-mile walk once in the 4s, and that was fairly miserable just because that was with a weighted backpack, like Go Ruck style. Without the cushion and with extra weight, it was just a miserable experience. I wouldn't necessarily recommend wearing these for a 10-mile weighted ruck march either, though, but it is more versatile. I like the cushion. That is an improvement, step in the right direction. I don't really like to run in these. They don't have enough cushion. I like a real running shoe, but I do prefer these to the 4 because of just, again, how little cushion the 4 has. But for lifting weights, you're really not going to be able to tell a difference unless you want that hyperlift, right? The additional heel to toe drop. So there's a lot of things where this is useful. And if you have these, by the way, you can use these in the 4. You can just drop them in underneath the removable midsole. So get some hyperlifts, and you could do the same thing in the 4. Actually, that might make kind of a killer weightlifting, bodybuilding, powerlifting style of shoe, in fact. So maybe you want to look into that. So in summary, all things considered, I do believe the Nike Metcon 6 represents several improvements over the 4. There is slightly more cushioning in the heel, yet the 6 is still firm enough in the heel and stable for heavy weightlifting. There is definitely better cushion in the forefoot, which makes this a more versatile shoe for CrossFit style workouts. The breathable upper with the large perforations feels to me like an improvement as well. It also looks like it will be just as tough as the 3D haptic print upper of the 4. And lastly, the noise factor can't be discounted. The Metcon squeak is gone and fixed. In the 6, the only thing you're left with is the clip-clop of that noisy, dense heel, but it's not a bad shoe. So I do recommend, if you like the 4, get the 6. It is a worthwhile upgrade, in my opinion. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please subscribe. We post new shoe reviews regularly. Thank you. Have a good day.